Cueing direction. What type of vault are we doing and where are we doing it? There is no need to show the dog the vaulting platform, and that is obvious, and drawing attention to it takes the dog's eye off the target. Instead, tell the dog what vault we are going to do and point out where the catch will be made. Ready? Top. Good. Good. Top. Yes, good. Yes. Good man. Wait. Rebound. Good. Good. Ready? Rebound. Good man. Good man. Good man. Up. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the show. Ron Watson, Positive Vibe, host of Disc Dogger Weekly. Rubbing my greedy little hands together. Woo! Right on. Thank you, Ace of Hogan. Doing a good job of what would that be? Host I don't know, something. Ace of Hogan is the best at saying super nice things. It's pretty awesome. So uh-oh. Come on. Come on, you can do it. Got some audio problems here, guys. Sorry. Well, that's no good, Ace of Hogan. Fix it. Fix the internet. It's not okay. All right. So that's the extent of my plan tonight. That's all I got. Super funny. All right. Okay. So, what are we going to talk about tonight, guys? Chat? Anything? Let's not talk about bad internet. That's no good. Let me see here. That's good. I'm glad it's back. All right, I think what I'm going to do is pull up my handy dandy trusty tool for class. Yeah, we'll just open these up. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Oh, happy at P-Vibe Fargo. I'm sure you ladies were. All right, so I pulled up the front page. I just opened up, you guys can probably see it, I opened up a bunch of tabs. So we have 2 steps to or for superior shaping. We'll go through that. Attention, attention, attention. The rhythm is in the gaps. That's a good one. Maybe I have a video for that. I'll see if I have a video for that. Pink Poodle Pairs practice. April, Jack, and Jolene. It's pretty awesome. And then pulling strings into a common thread. I will need that one open as well. What we got there? Untying behavioral knots with bite work. Variable reinforcement. A little theory here. I can get super nerdy on that. Another Dow excerpt. Oh, looks like there should be a video with that. Oh no, that's just an excerpt. Ryder and Lele hang out on the couch at P-Vibe Fargo. Open this image in a new tab. You can see the image. See? Look how sweet they are. Lele. Easy Rider. Couple of badasses right there, man. Right? You guys. And then the dog Ethogram by Sue Sternberg. I wonder if that's still up. I'll pull it up. Let's see. Oh, that's sad, Sue. Looks like Sue Sternberg's site is down. Nothing new there. Nothing new there. How's everyone taking requests? It's cool. Well, glad you stopped by, Ace of Hogan. Thanks a bunch. All right. So let's check out this 2 steps for superior shaping. This is an old one, 2011. Let's see. Funny. Asking a dog to offer eye contact in order to gain access to the object or activity that trips his trigger creates a dog that is self-disciplined and performs his job thoughtfully and with care. We call this operant drive. Many dogs get very high when working for cookies and clicks. Some go over threshold just from the act of working or opportunity for work. If you've worked on teaching a handstand and seen the rabid bucking bronco act, you totally know what I mean. Last week, while working hops on a handstand, he started to go all rabid bucking bronco, snorting, whining, twitching, and seriously was. It was not only hard to work with him, but it was hard to watch. He was getting eaten up by his arousal. As long as I continued marking and reinforcing, this highly aroused state was going to become the norm, making a handstand unlikely, ruining the concept of the handstand and setting a trend of over-aroused work. It doesn't take long for that to get to you, or get away from you. I think this is fairly common for clicker trainers. I've seen it many times, done it myself as well. It's part of the reason that some seemingly simple behaviors can take months to create. It's responsible for much of the frustration that positive trainers experience. 2 simple steps are all that is required to avoid this situation. First step is knowing that this type of hyper-performance is not healthy and desirable. It's really easy to mistake a high rate of reinforcement with manic performance of behaviors. Manic performance of behaviors is the common thread in your shaping sessions. As I'm sure it is for many trainers out there, then your dog is going to get classically conditioned to go over threshold at the mere presence of a clicker, making it hard to shape behaviors. This thing I call parallel classical conditioning. So you have classical conditioning is normally paired, right? You pair the stimulus with we pair a trigger stimulus with the behavior being done, right? And if the trigger we tend to think of classical conditioning as pairing. Dangerous trigger equals food. Disc thrown makes the teeth come off. Knowing that you're in this pairing mode, it's a powerful thing. But we tend to think about that in discrete moments, right? Like a piece or a dose of classical conditioning. But there's this state of classical conditioning, like the general state of your working sessions, like a longer term thing. So there's like a parallel classically conditioned state for contest or for frisbee training or for cookie training, right? So while we're cookie training, what is the classically conditioned state? While we're playing frisbee, what is a classically conditioned state? Throughout the day at a contest, what is the classically conditioned state? And that longer term classical conditioning, that longer term pairing, is that idea of parallel classical conditioning. And I think that's an important idea when we're talking about this. I'm going to get off that because I'm not prepared to talk about it. It's always tough to talk about. So knowing that the energy level and intensity of the game is going to set the stage for your classically conditioned state. Super important, so knowing that. And then attention. Second step is to put eye contact between each instance of the behavior. So it is attention that creates the opportunity to perform a skill or cookie. When offered eye contact as a gateway to interaction and is reinforced with action or a cookie, the dog will offer it during work. It will serve to center and ground him and keep him not only focused on the task at hand, but focused with working with you. With Hops, as soon as I got eye contact offered between reps during our handstand session, the crazed bucking border jack beast disappeared and I was left with a hard-working young man. Just put eye contact between reps in your shaping session and watch your dog settle in for some good, honest work. Give it a shot. Funny. Old article. Anybody want to chat about that? Anybody have any questions about that or anything? Don't seem to have any Facebook users chatting. Anyone who's a Facebook user who would like to have their username and avatar sent with their chats, you want to go to that link right there, chat. Anu, what's up? So yep, Facebook users go there. You'll be able to have your avatar and your name come through. All right. So reinforcing a give with a cued drop. Let's see, how long is this one? 4:22. I might have to just let that one play. You know what? I am going to let that one play. All right, guys, check this out.
Can you hear it? It's your song. Hey everybody, how's it going? Ron Watson, Positive Vibe, host of DiscDog Weekly. Had a request to do.
All right, I'm going to see if I can find that in non-shitty audio. Give. Epic Give, maybe? Oh, come on. I'd really like to find this, guys. I'm sorry that I'm poorly prepared. Tug for Give. What's the date on this? September 28th, 2020.
App right here.
Oh, that was almost it. 9:23. Epi Given stuff.
Hey everybody, how's
Almost there, guys. Almost there. That's it, I think.
Epi? Can you hear it?
Epi Given stuff. That is it. He's ready. He is ready, guys. He's not joking. All right, so let me try and do this super fast. Here we go.
Yes, top.
Well, shit, that didn't work. Oh, that's a nice looking JPEG, isn't it? Funny. Epi Given stuff. That's the one I'm looking for. Yep. All right, here we go. Sorry it took so long.
Epi, can you hear it?
It's your song. Throw out some
Everybody, how's it
questions
going?
or
Ron Watson,
comments if you
Positive
want.
Vibe, host of DiscDogger Weekly. Had a request to do some work on give. Epi's got a pretty crappy give. It costs us some points in up dog
Be
and
right back, guys.
makes it a little difficult to run toss and fetch efficiently. So we're gonna do a little bit of work on that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna contrast the give versus the drop. I'm gonna put them right next to each other and see how that works. Come on, Epi. Up. Ready? Catch. Ouse. Yes, catch. Mine. Yes. Catch. Oh yeah. Ouse. Yes. Catch. Mine. Yes. Ouse. Yes. Mine. Yes. Catch. Yes. Ouse. Yes. Mine. Yes. Catch. Ouse. Yes. Yes. Up. Mine. Good. Hey, 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 hey. Easy, easy. All right. Mine. Yes. Let me get him a little bit of movement first. Kind of not a very good thing to work right when you come out and start. Ready? Makai, get out. Yes, good man. Wow, you are firing. Ouse. Mauka, get out. Catch. Whoa, that guy. Ouse. Yes. Yeah, whoa, why are you so crazy, Epi? Yes, ouse. Yes, catch. Ouse. Yes. Mine. Yes. Good. What I'm doing with that give versus drop is using the speed of the drop with the immediate reinforcement and kind of conflating it with the give. Mine. Yes. What? Oh, that was crazy. Ouse. Yes. Ouse. Yes. Ouse. Yes. Mine. Yes. And hoping that that's gonna give him additional reason to spit that real well. Right here. Mine, I can't reach it. Yes, look at him. Look at him. Mine. Yes. Yes, good man. Ouse. Yes. Ouse. Yes. Mine. Yes. Ouse. Yes. Mine. Yes. Ouse. Yes. Mine. Yes. Ouse. Yes, Makai, catch. Oh, that was awesome, Epi. That was great work. That was great work. Just keep your music running. All right, what do we got? I got 5. Mine. Yes. Soon as he gives it up. Mine. Yes, he's gonna get it right back. Except for that time. Yeah, through. Good, go. Easy, cheetah. Heli in. Good. Ouse, heli out. Good, wait right there. Top. Good, ouse, go. Catch. Badass. Well, that dude certainly is a badass, right, Epi? Are you a badass? I can't believe I've had this light off the whole time. So, super cool little session with Epi on give versus drop, or using a drop to get a give. It's this thing I call the golden ratio of reward placement. You want 3 reps of the easy or the good one to 1 rep of the difficult or challenging one. So when we have, Epi has a problem with the give. So I use 3 drops to 1 give. Out, yes, bite, out, yes, bite, out, yes, bite, give, yes, right? And what happens is out, yes, bite, out, yes, bite, out, yes, bite, give, ... Then it happens. Out, yes, bite, out, yes, bite, out, yes, bite, give, ... And then it happens. Out, yes, bite, out, yes, bite, out, yes, bite, give, ... Then it happens. Out, yes, bite, out, yes, bite, out, yes, bite, give, then it happens. We can use that high rate of reinforcement, and we can bankroll or leverage that success that we have, and we can wind up with a really solid session that is nothing but successful, and the dog can't help but being successful. Interesting thing with the drop and give. Oh shit, I'm sorry guys. Go to the screen share here. Interesting thing about the drop and give. All drops are gives. Or I'm sorry, all gives are drops, but not all drops are gives. And so, oops, yeah, there we go. And so, putting the give and the cued drop next to each other, really kind of a nice thing for clarity for the dog. A lot of dogs don't know that. So all gives are drops, but not all drops are gives. And that logical expression says that the give is a drop, but it's a very specific drop, location based. Right here. One sec, I'm going to sneeze. All right, am I back? Yeah, I'm back. Okay, so the drop versus give. What was I saying before I sneezed my head off? All gives are drops, but not all drops are gives. So there's a location thing within the give that makes the give a very unique drop. And when we have a dog who drops latently and they come running in and we tell them either to give or drop, the only place where they know drop is okay is around the handler, which is often conflated with a give, right? So I don't really know what I know I'm supposed to get to the hand. Once I get to the handler, we'll figure everything out. My handler will give me some shit if they need me to drop it, or the handler will, wrangle it from my mouth if they need to take it. If we just do some work on give versus drop, isolating the two and drawing attention to their similarities and differences, then the dog will get a very clear understanding that teeth off anywhere makes the next disc happen. Teeth off anywhere after a cued drop makes the next disc happen. And if you don't tell me to do anything, I should wind up coming into you for the give. And super, super powerful thing. So let's see. Epi has a pretty crappy give. Cost a few points in a big contest. It was. It did cost us a few points, Epi. You were a bastard. He does have an epic drop. So we have rate of reinforcement, also known as cookies per minute. At 30 cookies per minute, that's a success and an eaten cookie every 2 seconds. There's not a lot of time to be making mistakes, experiencing failure. You can't make mistakes and experience failure if you're hitting 2 cookies or 30 cookies per minute. You know, it's really hard to slip failure into, you know, I'm successful every 2 seconds and then I eat my cookie. It's really difficult. Cookies are anything positive, anything that is reinforcing. Throwers and rollers are cookies. Discs are cookies. Bites are cookies. Throwers and rollers are cookies. Chasing the disc is a cookie. Activated handlers are cookies. And next is a cookie. And next is not only a cookie, it is the cookie. The cookie is next. So when I'm doing this drop stuff, I'm using that drop to get Epi chasing next. Ooh, the next one, the next one, the next one. Drop, yes, the next one. Drop, yes, the next one. Drop, yes, the next one. This is awesome. This is great. Drop, yes, the next one. Give. ... The dog gives. Drop, yes, the next one. 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 Give. Why isn't the next one coming? Thinks the dog. And then they give it to you. Drop, yes, the next one. What happens rather quickly is the dog realizes that the game continues excitedly. Next happens when I perform this skill, in particular when I perform the skill that's difficult for me. We want to leverage that rate of reinforcement, the energy level of the game, to take advantage of that. The energy level of the game is a cookie, right? It's closely related to next, but not nearly as discrete and concrete. Here we go into that kind of parallel classical conditioning idea. The energy level of the game is like a long-term cookie, or a cookie physiology, right? And that cookie physiology can be reinforcing in and of itself. A high CPM, many cookies per minute, exciting game. A low CPM, boring game. Which is why we want to use that golden ratio. We want to use 3 of the skills the dog does well, drop, 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 before we challenge the dog with a give. If we only work the challenging skill, the give, which doesn't work well, I know that I can't get much more than 10 cookies per minute with that, because it takes him so long to drop it. It takes him 4 or 5 seconds to spit it out. And if it's 4 or 5 seconds between each rep, now we're looking at 10, 12 cookies per minute. And at 10 or 12 cookies per minute, I'm just going to teach my dog to play slow and to chomp on that disc. I want to use that drop to get a high rate of reinforcement. Drop, yes, bite. Drop, yes, bite. Drop, yes, bite. Awesome little tug. Awesome. Mine. Yes, bite. Out, yes, bite. Out, yes, bite. Awesome. Mine. And so the mine just has the give, or the mine just has a tiny little delay initially, and the bite drop part, drop, yes, bite, drop, yes, bite, that happens super fast. Dog learns to expect a high rate of reinforcement. So Sydney mentioned a few moments ago that Everly gets more tuggy with the disc the hotter, more tired she is. Will easily drop for another disc, but toss and fetch or even for his agility is hard to just have one. It's pretty common. Fatigue within your dog will exacerbate and bring out any problems you have. The end.
right? You got a chomping problem, you got a mauling problem, you got a stacking problem. All of those things are much more likely to have poke their heads out when we are later in the round when the dog is fatigued. So you really want to make sure that you have these skills worked, right? So most of Sydney, most of my work with my dogs is on these base level mechanical skills. Or, well, yeah, I guess that's a good way to say it. It isn't that I'm just doing the base level mechanical skills within my training. It's that the base level mechanical skills are always being worked, and or they are being worked frequently. I don't do a lot of like strictly routine things, or scrimmage the up dog game. I don't do a lot of that. I do work with good foundation, right? The give, sticky give, best thing I got for that. I was doing a little bit of it with Epi here. I think this was early. There's another one of these in October you guys can check out. Epi did like 3 or 4 give pieces. There's a give tag somewhere. Let me drop you guys that link. Tag/give. Somebody let me know if that link goes to goes somewhere. There should be a couple of give pieces with Epi there. So, Sydney, you're do some work on give versus drop with Everly while she's not tired. Make it really hot shit. Yeah. You're hitting me with good questions here, and they're kind of deep questions, so it's a little hard for me to just blurt out an answer. So, Sydney, when you're working this, anytime she gives, give it right back. Drop, like 3 reps of drop, do the give. She gives it, teeth off, yes, bite again. Whoa, that's amazing, right? You want to give that back right away. You can give the disc back for another bite. You can fire the disc off as a roller when the dog gives. And then you can employ a re-grab, right, where you re-grab the disc, the dog takes it from you, and you re-grab within your bite work in general, or anytime you offer a bite. And you can get many reps of the drop. And you don't have to go through the whole take it away from me, wait for the dog to take their teeth off, etc., right? You can just let the dog win, or the dog takes it out of your hand, you just re-grab and re-grab and re-grab. It's a re-bite, essentially, that you initiate. So I would recommend doing that to get the rate of reinforcement up, and to clearly communicate that the teeth off in the hand is what we're looking for. One more thing with that, Sydney. When a disc is, the disc is loaded when we're both holding it. So if the dog and handler are holding it and we're pulling, the disc is loaded. If the dog is pulling and the handler's doing nothing except like
moving with the dog a little bit. There's no load on this disc. Handler starts to pull, there's load on it, right? So here's the handler. Dog is pulling, there's no load. Handler pulls, you can probably see that disc stretch a little bit, right? Now there's load on the disc. What you want to do is you want to take the load off the disc. So you want to show the dog, upside down or right side up, however you're tugging, that, yeah, this is awesome. We're supposed to be tugging. You know, here I am pulling it away from the dog. You know, my hand, rah, rah, rah. This is great. This is awesome. Rah, it's super awesome, right? And the dog is pulling and we're pulling, and then I go limp and kind of push it at the dog a little bit. And the dog should go, oh, this is gross. I want nothing to do with it. Right? So if we're tugging and he takes it, or we're tugging and he takes it, yes, and he takes it, yes, oh yeah, we're fighting over it, he takes it, yes. And we start to tug and then I go dead fish and the dog is tugging nothing, he should real quick go, oh, this is not what I'm supposed to do, let me spit that. And so lots of gives, and then immediate repayment with bite roller or throw for the give. And then make sure that you're removing the load on the give, and use the non-loaded sharing, right? So dog runs up, puts it in my hand. If I tear it from the dog, if I take it from the dog there, I'm setting up a tug that's exciting. Oh, fuck yeah, Ron, do it. Let's tear that thing up. Even if I want them to drop, if I pull and engage that load on the dog, they're going to want to tug. Oppositional reflex will kick in, they want to tug. But if when the dog puts it in my hand, if I go completely loose and they start to tug and there's nothing there, they don't want it, right? So you can contrast your tugging, your re-grab, and your give, your dead, like not pulling give. You can contrast that with a purposefully vigorous tug, making it very clear that when I'm tugging on the disc, Everly, you're tugging with me, right? When I'm not tugging on the disc, Everly, you should spit that out, not only because it's lame, but because, you know, it leads to good things in the future. So hopefully that helps. I would look at the, you're perfect. I would look at your, look at those pieces on that tag link. That should help you out there. You should be okay with that. There are a couple of other pieces in there that go through some of that stuff I just talked about. All right, I think we're done with this one. Energy level of the game, guys, absolutely critical. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that, Sydney. Definitely think my reinforcement needs to go up, as well as clarity. Yeah, markers. And remember, when you give a marker, you don't need to cough the cookie up right away. You're giving the marker specifically so you don't have to cough up a cookie right away. So you give the marker, 1001, 1002, bite it. You're good to go. You don't want to give the marker and puke one out there. That'll get you mauled as a handler. All right. One article down. Anybody have any requests? We are taking requests here. We are taking requests. I don't have a plan. Or I shot my wad on the plan in the first 4 minutes of the show. Went for that meme roll, then a general video, and then another general video. Ooh, do I have the rhythm is in the gaps in a regular video? I think I might. Let's see if I can find this real quick, guys. I think I do. I'd like to do it with the video that I have rather than the audio here. I'm not worried about the Oh, come on, are you kidding? Rhythm is in the gaps. Sorry, again, with my poor rhythm is mind the gaps.
It's not the beats of the music or the steps of the dance that matter. It's the space.
All right, this will work. This isn't as good as the one that I wanted. This isn't as good as the one that I really wanted to show you.
Cueing direction. What type of...
But it is kind of good.
It's not the beats of the music or the steps of the dance that matter. It's the space and time between them. Your disc dog tricks and moves are your beats or dance steps. All the stuff required to set them up and make them look and sound good in flow are the gaps. You need rhythm in your play to create beautiful music and graceful dance instead of just making noise and moving erratically. To create rhythm, you need to mind the gaps. You've got the moves and can hit all the notes, but can you put them together? This is the question that most all disc dog handlers need to ask themselves. This is what I try to teach and what I'm interested in learning on a daily basis.
Awesome. That's a short version. That is a short version. But here, you guys can catch the whole version here if you want. Boom pow. Do that there and do this here. Sorry, it'll double up on that, but that way at least we'll be sure to get one of them to the Facebookers out there, you Facebookers. So let's go back to that. I think this is like really critical, guys. Like I think it's super, super critical. Everyone is so focused on the tricks that they have no idea what's happening in the gaps, right? Your tricks, and what I'm talking about by your tricks is your throw, the vault itself, the flip itself, right? The actual tricks in your freestyle routine are about 20 to 30 seconds of the routine. What are you doing for the other minute 10? Right? What's happening? Are you aware that things are happening while you're doing your disc management of picking up discs? Do you know which direction your dog turns? Do you know what direction your dog is supposed to turn? Right? And most of the time the answers to those questions is no, because the handler's too busy picking up discs or getting ready for the next thing. And so what happens is the disc dog handlers are jumping from note to note. If it were a musical piece, they're jumping from note to note. They don't care about what's between the notes. And rhythm is established by the time between the notes. The notes don't establish the rhythm. The gaps between the notes establish the rhythm. The amount of time, the gaps between the silent times of the musical piece create the rhythm. And if you're not aware of the stuff that's happening between the beats and notes of your music, well then you're not aware or present within the gaps. How are you going to flow? And how are you going to be in front of that dog? Right? Rhythm is something of a prophecy. You listen to a little bit of the rhythm and you know what's coming. And the only way that happens is that you pay attention to the gaps. If you just know the notes, you don't know when they're supposed to happen, right? This idea of paying attention between the things that we're doing, really, really important, guys.
You have all the moves and can hit all the notes, but can you put them together? Do you have the stuff between the tricks that you need? And I don't think many people do have that stuff between all the stuff that I teach is the stuff between the tricks, right? Once we get you set up and ready to go, you hit your trigger and your trick is done. Simple, right? All of the problems in our game happen in getting set up and lining the dog up for the move. And that's part of the gap between this trick and the next trick. And you want that gap to be filled with knowledge and to be filled with quality work, right? And if you're not paying attention to the gaps, you're just worried about your tricks, right? And I hear this all the time, you know, oh, if I just had this trick, if I just had that trick. And then I see them play and they don't have any flat work and they don't have, you know, they have a hard time setting up. A whole bunch of the foundational pieces that have to deal with the gaps are weak, right? You know, Susan, if you're listening, you know, you've got all the skills. You know, when I was talking to you the other day about being on point with that, you've got all the skills. You're ready to go, but you're not aware of what's happening within the gaps, and you have to be aware of what's happening in the gaps so you can be ahead of your athlete. Yep, you can't be present in the gaps if you're too busy picking up discs. The end. Disc management for the routine occupies far too much focus in the game for most players to be present in the gaps. The moment we're done with one thing, we're running to grab discs for the next thing. You never, ever even look at the dog, right? This idea of not looking at the dog while they catch you or not a spectator is completely true. I don't need to see my dog when they catch. I don't want to see my dog catch. What I want to see and what I need to see is what my dog does immediately after the catch. And the only time I don't need to know that or see that is when I already know exactly how that's going to go down. I've made my throw. I see that it's a good throw. I've done my homework. I've read my dog historically. I know that this throw is going to lead to a clockwise release. I can go pick up these discs, and I don't need to see my dog release from that catch. But in training or in new sequence or new transition work, can't do that. I have to see the dog turn. I have to see how this trick is laying out. I have to see how I need to prepare myself while the dog is 15 yards away so that I can handle this dog and wrangle this dog into the next thing. And again, running around and picking up your discs and doing good disc management is perfectly fine for a performance, right? But that performance is done after you've learned those skills and after you've put those skills together. So you have to have the knowledge somewhere, right, before you go and try and put that into practice on the field while you're doing all your competitive performance, disc management, whatever other crap you got to do for the contest, right? You want to be present in the gaps. You want to watch the dog. You want to be prepared. You want to handle the dog early, right? And you want to use that rhythm to create and catch a beat of how we're playing. And after you've created the rhythm and caught the beat, then you can let the beat guide you, right? And you can take your eyes off the dog on the release because you already know what the rhythm and the beat and the song says is going to happen. If you don't know that, though, you have to have some time taking a look at that. How long is this pass with? This is pretty short. We'll watch this. Hang on, might not be able to do that. Flamingo passing. Let me see.
Good question, Sydney. Good question. Give me one sec. Let me see if I can do that. Flamingo. Epic Shapes Flamingo. Is that it? No. I might not be able to find it, guys. It's a date on it. October 9th, 2020. That was a good month. Flamingo. Pass. Flank and pass. Broken crossing pass. Crossing pass. Obi pendulum. Compass and cross. Compass and cross. Epi practical crossing. Is that it? All right, so we're going to do a crossing pass form. Nope. Crossing pass, take 2. Flank, crossing pass with dots. It's so funny. Back. Passing form. Grrr. It doesn't look like I'm going to find it. We can try and watch this. So I'll just turn this all the way down. So this is a clockwise crossing pass. Right here you can see that he's coming in clockwise right now. I'll cross and then I'll pass with the flamingo throw. So this flamingo throw, right, it's a difficult throw. I can throw it pretty well. I can hit my target. What I can't quite do well is I struggle to read the dog and make that play, right? So what I'm kind of setting up here is a few reps of me working this crossing pass and trying to read the dog and deliver the throw in line. I mean, you can see I'm falling down and shit. There's a big wind up on that, and you got to get in the, ooh, epi, that was a savage leap. You got to get lined up with the dog, and it's just not very easy. And this is part of that reading of the dog that's really important, right? You have to, like with that flamingo throw, I have to make the throw when the dog is 12, 15 yards away. And because it's got that super long load, right? That real long kind of get ready to throw thing, it makes it really difficult to time. And so the most important thing with that flamingo throw is reading the dog and being present in the gap, so I know that I can get started consistently, competently, every time. And when that starts to happen, now I can start to take my eye off the prize of the handling the dog during transition work or handling the dog into this move. And then I can, you know, slip in my disc management stuff elsewhere. Okay, so Sydney asked, oh yeah, it is right there. So how do you teach them where they need to be or turn? So what you'll find out, Sydney, is, and that's a great question, what you'll find out is that your dog has a preferred direction. And it'll be a percentage thing. Lute was 100% counterclock. He would turn counterclock after any catch, but the most wicked clockwise catch. If you throw inside the dog's line, they tend to hold their line. And I could hold him if I did everything perfect. If I didn't, he was turning counterclock. And a lot of people are upset with that I was upset with it at first. I wanted him to go both ways. But going both ways isn't very good either, because then you don't know which way your dog is going to go. You can't rely on anything. So, what I would recommend, Sydney, is to read your dog, figure out which way the dog turns naturally, figure out what the percentages are, right? 80-20, 70-30, 50-50. Epi's pretty 50-50. Maybe 55-45. Clock to counter. It's really close. And it sucks. It sucks because I never really know which direction he's going to go. And if I throw it really well, he'll go the direction I want. You know, I can make him go in a direction, but I have to perform. So the first thing I would do, Sydney, is to figure out which way my dog liked to run. You can do that when around the world, throwing around the world clockwise. If the dog goes and keeps running around the world clockwise, he'll run clock. If you're running around the world clockwise and he's turning backwards, like peeling off to go counterclock on you, that means clockwise is not his preferred direction. Yep. So she's probably clock. I can't say that's 100% true though, Sydney, because Everly would say, well, you know, I try to run counter, but Sydney doesn't throw that way. Right? That's what Everly would say. I think when you start to implement the sidearm and the overhand wrist flip to the left, so the dog has visibility, you're not making blind tosses to the left, that a lot of dogs get much more competent on the counterclock side. Totally could be wrong. She totally could be a completely clockwise dog. But when we have a clockwise bias, we have to actually question whether or not the handler has trained that in, whether it's a conditioned response, right? The dog has been conditioned to play left-handed, for instance. Handlers are pretty steadfast and strong about trying to make their dogs run clock. So I'm not saying that that's the case. I'm just saying to be aware of that. Right, right. Yep. You're on it. Absolutely. So yeah, maybe that's true too. And her around is so much more patterned, so the other way is not very trained. Correct. And the blind tosses versus visible tosses really important. There's a good piece. I've done a few pieces on it on the live streams, but you can find it on the blog about pattern training and stuff. Pattern training on the around. So yeah, you got to take a look at that, Sydney. You got to look at that, and you know, I would also recommend that 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock throwing positions. 2 o'clock for your backhands, 10 o'clock for your sidearm overhand wrist flip. That'll get that game moving laterally out there, which will bring the dog across and bring the dog across, which will be very helpful for being able to see patterns, right? If I throw it at 9 o'clock, the dog will peel off or continue on their path depending upon what pressure variable is in front of them or what they sense is coming next. So there is a conditioned aspect to it. It isn't just the dog's natural release strength.
Can you hear me now? I think you can. How long ago did that dip out? How long ago did the audio dip out? It's not at all, Deneen. It's not at all. Try reading an OB. Try reading an OB. Oh, awesome. That's great. Well, I said a bunch of really awesome shit. Sorry you guys didn't hear it. Sorry. Can't really repeat it. My microphone just died, so. Here, let me fix this. That's not okay. All right. All right, so I actually will read this because I think it is kind of applicable. Like music, pace is defined by the gaps. Many think that high-intensity flowing play has no gaps. This is untrue. Flowing freestyle play, like all freestyle, has nothing but gaps. 30 throws in a 2-minute routine. What are you doing for the other 105 seconds? How gaps are navigated is the way of pace. Do they relate to the action? Do the gaps play with or enhance the jam? Are they a drag? Gaps regulate and define pace and rhythm. They create drama and add interest. Gaps are the Tao of pace and the key to flow. Be present and mind the gaps. It's where the magic happens. There we go. All right. So any questions on that? I'd love to riff on that for a while. Oh, there is a, let me see, where is that? Here. Let me turn on my interview thing. If someone wants to call in, we have a much easier way to call in now. Totally would love to test it. Interview. There we go. So if you guys want to Skype in, you can go here. That click to join link will give you access to a to essentially a video conference with me. If someone wants to give that a shot, that would be awesome. I'd love to check that out. All right, so we're going to jump into poodle pairs practice. Jack and April with Jolene. And I'm going to see if I have a good copy of the video here so I don't have to listen to the broken YouTube. This is kind of cool. We'll show you guys some cool pairs work. Also, April and Jack do some really interesting flat work with pairs that we can talk about that I think is pretty unique. Certainly something to consider adding to your pairs routine, even though Skyhounds doesn't give a shit if you move your dog at all. It will actually have an effect and a vibe. So let's see here. Let me see if I got a Jolene video here. Oh, where is... There we go. Jolene, 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 Jolene. All right, should only take a sec. I'm pretty sure I have this. Well, I say that, and it looks like... Was that it? Jack and Jolene. It is a pink poodle practice, though. Jolene flat work. That's a pretty good video, actually. Need to make sure I pull that one up. Pink poodle. Pink poodle flat work, is that going to do it? Is that going to do it? Let me see here. It's not the beats of the music or the steps of the...
It's not. It's not the beats of the music or the steps of the dance. Grrr. Pink poodle flat work, not happening. Poodle. One last shot and then I'll go with a crappy old YouTube video. Sorry, guys. Nope. All right, here we go. Back to the screen share. Boom, boom. All right, here we go. So you can see them passing off the dog. I wonder why that audio is doing that weird thing.
Just like a little, you guys think so?
What?
Good, outside. Good. Yep.
So that little passing of the flat work there, kind of cool.
Very nice.
You got a working flank being passed off from handler to handler. So Sydney, we were talking about the release and reading the release here. So right after this move, this right here, Jack should pick up Jolene. Jolene is going to turn counterclock, right? She's going to turn counterclock here. And now that line is perfect for Jack to pick up and go on the counter. But April's going to pick her up and pull her clock, right? And so in a single round of freestyle, as a judge, I would look at that as a deke or a dig at your flat work because you violated the dog's movement. Either you should have read it differently or you should have prepared differently, right? In short, it would have looked much better had April pulled Jolene in the direction she was already moving than to have the dog respond on their own and then, oh, my bad, let's go clock, I guess, right? But yeah, that probably should have been a counter clock plank.
Because I think I might pick up a frisbee, so.
I'll just try to go as quick as I can to pull
Yeah.
it through, throw that off.
And sorry about the audio.
Yeah, because I feel like now at least I'm doing something different than standing there going,
Yeah, so April added a little spinny move to that.
Okay. Maybe you don't have like a pouty I'm waiting look on your face.
Such a bummer at the friggin' Jack's super
is that how
funny.
it happens when your hair is big?
And I'm just like,
Right. See, if you're not standing there like that,
It ain't so bad.
So, Kat, you need to like do like, you know, like.
So funny. It's actually a pretty funny video. I'm sorry about the audio.
you know, perhaps you guys are also hearing the same feedback.
How many times do I gotta say it?
Is this going in the rough cut?
Absolutely.
Hop one. You're gonna call the hoop
Yep.
and go.
Hoop and go.
You're gonna go
Hoop and then
You're gonna turn.
and then just kind of leave it open right now. Yeah. Like this, Kat?
Yes.
And go. Go.
Ooh, throwing through the hoop.
Say hoop when
Pretty
she's seeing
nifty.
it. Stupid early.
And again, sorry about the audio. I have no idea what's going on with that.
Go. Yes. Sorry.
I shot it, man. I shot the shit out of it. Yeah, mark her catch or her leap with hoop and go. That's what I would do.
Yeah, watch this when April marks this.
Good girl. Yes. I just wanted to get this out there. Yes.
Oh! Yeah, pretty cool pairs video, man. They had a really nice pairs thing going on. So, any question about pairs or that cooperative flat work? Yep. She mainly turns counter. Yep. And April and everybody else runs her clock all the time. You know, and you can totally do that, but you're going to have the dog peel off a lot. That peel off gives you a nice straight line coming back towards you, so it's not like a bad strategy or anything. It just, when your dog always does something, whatever it is throughout the routine, if the dog always catches at 12 o'clock and runs back and always catches at 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock define my routine, then the first few times you do those directions, everything's great. But 30 seconds in, if that direction doesn't change and you don't show some different kind of movement, well, then you're going to get pigeonholed into a type of movement. And that's all you do. So if you are throwing clock all the time and the dog is always turning counter clock, that pattern gets repetitive. And as far as showing a diversity of team movement on the field, the team are not doing that. So what you would want to do is throw some of the discs clockwise and depend on that peel off and do something with it. I make the throw over here. I know the dog is coming back to the center. I make the throw. I run out to the center. I meet the dog right after they catch, right? It's awesome. It's a way to do it. But you also want to have maybe a couple where the dog is coming around counter and you make the throw and the dog continues on counter so that you don't have that peel off pattern, right? You just want to vary that pattern a little bit and use the dog's movement to your advantage. So I'm going to actually skip this piece. I will link both of them. I'm going to actually go to behaviors and untying knots with bite work. This is actually the second piece that I just linked. This is the one that I will cover today. I think it's a pretty long one too, so I'm just going to have to, let me take a look at it and get my bearings here. All right, so pulling strings and untying behavioral knots with bite work. Solving problems with bite work is like untying a knot. Work on one strand or maybe a couple at a time and tug, loosen, and manipulate those strands to free up space or to align the strand so you can untie the knot. They're also like knots in that if you willy-nilly pull on one of the strands, pull on one of the loops, you're going to tighten the knot. You have to pull the right strand, loosen the right loop, right? It's not just getting any loop or the loop I want. I want this to be straight. Doesn't help. You have to pull the right one. You have to isolate and pull the right one. You pull strings and bite work through reinforcement. Let's say you have a drop problem, you find the strings around the behavior that are holding it up or stopping the drop from happening, and then you tease them a bit, tightening and loosening. This is not always a straight line kind of answer, just like untying knots. Back chains can be difficult to spot and require creativity, intent, and belief in order to be leveraged. Back chain, super, super important concept. You start from the end of the behavior and reinforce it, making the end of the behavior very, very likely to happen, and you rely on the likelihood of the end of the behavior to happen to make the behavior happen. When you're trying to identify a back chain, it can be really hard. A back chain of give is bite. The back chain of a bite is a give. And the back chain of a carry is a cued drop, right? So trying to make your dog carry is very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. You're in charge of it. You have no ability to make sure that it continues to happen. The dog is able to short circuit the interaction and the success, the likelihood of success on their own terms. They already can't do the skill. It's hard. But if we, instead of focusing on the end result, which is carry, and we focus on the cued drop, it's very easy to prove to a dog that the cued drop makes everything happen. And if the cued drop makes everything happen, right, I need to have a disc in my mouth. As a matter of fact, if I don't have a disc in my mouth, I can't make anything happen. Hang on, I'll be right back. Here we go, right? And the dog is now ready. So the dog will carry in order to make the drop happen. And that's a back chain. If we identify back chains like that, if we can find those key back chains, that's like pulling the string and having the whole knot unfurl. Poof, whole knot comes out. You have a nice straight string. So you need to straighten up or tighten the strings to get at or see your problem. You got to look at the knot. That's important. And this is also important. When you start to pull the string or to untie the knot, the other strings will momentarily be affected. This is the hard part. Ignoring those other strings for a moment, some of which might be pretty important. You might need to ignore those strings while you tend to the thing that you're working on right now. Yeah, we can actually hit on that, and I can lay out, Deneen, I can lay out exactly what I mean by that. So I'll leave that up. Let me cruise through a little more. It's all bite, drop, and give. Knots don't look like strings. They don't act like them either. When you're untying a knot, it's helpful to know that progress towards removing the knot is not some magical transformation, but it is a slow and painful easing and tightening up of the individual strands. You can go a long way towards untying a knot without any sort of physical transformation. The knot is still there, guys. The changes are really visible when you are in tune and focused on pulling those strings. To observers or a zoomed out perspective, there's no appreciable difference. If you're paying attention, though, you'll feel it change. You'll notice it changing. You'll see, because you're looking at all the strands and dealing with them, you'll see the gaps within the strands. You'll see the slackness in the pieces that you're working on. You'll see the progress of the knot, but you have to look for it. You can't just, expect it to change. Some knots are self-tightening. Knots are not defeated with muscle. They're not defeated with fear or intimidation. Knots are defeated with patience and understanding. Highlight that. I will highlight that. It's worth highlighting. Bringing it back to dog training, you have to understand to read the situation correctly before you can try and fix it. There will be some give and take. Some behaviors will tighten up, some will loosen a bit while pulling that key string. Patience is required to allow that to happen. Patience and understanding is the way you want to go about solving a knot. Yeah, I think that'll work. I was going to add some other stuff. Getting pissed off and tugging at both ends of the knot at once or trying to force it doesn't really work. It makes the knots far more difficult, often near impossible to untie when you come to your senses and truly evaluate the situation. The knot might be smaller and more compact, easier to ignore, but it's still there. Yeah, funny. A best case scenario is when we pull that knot so tight that it's no problem to use the string anyway. It still functions. We swing it around. See, you can barely notice it. But when you're looking for pretty and perfection and you're being judged, when you're pushing the load limit on the string, super stress and high distraction, if your rope breaks, it will break at that taut knot. Tight knots in a world-class team's game will most likely cost them a championship or two over the course of their career. And blah, 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 etc. All right, you got it, Sydney. So when they immediately drop, it's hard to get the hold longer. So don't focus on the hold, Deneen. Fuck the hold. Who cares? How about you drop on cue? Right? And it sounds silly, and it sounds like it's a semantical distinction or detail without a distinction, but it isn't. It's actually really important. While you can't make them hold any longer when they are 20 yards away or wherever that is, you can tell them to drop. And you can mark and reinforce that drop. Right? And if you always cue, mark, and reinforce the drop at a distance, then what must the dog do if they want the game to continue? And I might like hard ass it and wait for you to type this fucking answer in here, Deneen. If the dog knows that the cued drop makes the next thing happen, what must they be doing? Then I'll give you a second to stew on that. And you should try and answer it. Yes, they must be carrying it, right? And so you want to set that enough times, right? You want to make that happen enough times that, come on, Ron, where is that screen share? I have a widget on my chat box. Yeah, that's the one I want. I'm gonna make that chat box. I have to embiggen the chat box. There we go. All right. So next person that chats will see that. As a matter of fact, the dog must be carrying it. Right? So when the dog, what we do is we set it up, we cue 30 of them in a row, where my dog drops at 18 yards, let's say. Just 18 yards he drops. That's where I drop. That's how I do it, Ron. Don't give me any shit. Just throw the frisbee. What I'll do is at 19 yards, I'll cue drop. I'll mark the drop at 18 when it happens. I'll fire off the disc. I'll pump out 30 or 40 of those reps. And it'll be go round, yes, catch. The dog catches. Yes, that's awesome. Out. Yes. Another throw. Dog catches. Yes. Out. Yes. Another throw. Right? We get 30 of those. Boom. Pow. Boom. Pow. Boom. pow. Number 31, I make the throw. Dog hits 19 yards. Nothing has happened. I don't give the cue. Dog hits 18 yards. Did the dog drop? Dog hasn't dropped yet. Dog gets to 16 yards, then drops. Sweet. Bookmark that. Got it. 16 yards. That's where we're sitting. Let's say the dog comes all the way into 12. I cue the drop. Sweet. I got lots of improvement here. I'm going to predict and cue when it's likely to happen, right? But on number 31, after my 30 reps of boom, pow, where I'm ensuring that it's going to happen, I'll test it. And I'll let it go past that 18-yard mark. And if the dog drops at 16, well, maybe that's my new goal. Maybe I'll start cueing that drop at 16 yards. I'll try that. If the dog drops, nothing happens. In that boom, pow game, past 18 yards, comes to a screeching halt. And we stand there. This is not nearly as fun as dropping on cue, Deneen. It's not nearly as fun. Why did you stop, Deneen? And then they go get the disc. They pick it up. You immediately cue drop. Yes. And then there's 30. Boom, pow, right? And what happens very quickly is the dog learns that in order for me to keep the game going, I need to be carrying it, right? So, and this goes into that behavioral knots thing, right? What you're afraid of, what everybody's afraid of, is cueing the drop too early. Well, the dog can already drop it out there. I need him to carry it longer, right? And that's looking at the knot and not understanding what it is, right? What you want to do, instead of getting him to carry it longer, right? Or being upset that you're cueing it at a bad distance, you should be looking at the fact that I'm cueing the drop. I say drop, his teeth come off half a second after 30 times in a row, and the game is slamming awesome, right? And then on number 31, he drops early, nothing happens. He picks up the disc. Because I'm trying to get him to realize that it's teeth off after the cue makes next happen. He picks it up. I immediately cue drop. We get 30 more reps of awesome shit. Boom, pow, boom, pow, boom, pow. Good marking, good energy levels of the game. And in no time at all, the dog will want to carry in order to make the next cookie happen, in order to make the next throw happen. And when the dog wants to carry and wants to spit the disc out on cue, our drop problems are pretty much solved. And hopefully that makes sense. It is tied rather intimately to that behavioral knots idea, and also to the behavioral knots idea. We'll just leave it there. Cool. Anybody else on behavioral knots? Vicious back chains, looking for back chains that work to get a behavior? Okay, so, yeah, perfect, I got you. So what you want to do, dog is most likely dropping on your marker. When you mark teeth on. Yes, where's my cookie? Throw it. Yes, throw it. Throw it. Yes, throw it. I know I didn't bite it, but I know you're going to throw it, and I know I got to touch it to make the throw happen, right? So when the dog bites it, yes, they drop it right away. So if your dog is biting hard, Deneen, don't give the marker for the removal from the hand when the dog takes it from you. Don't mark that. You say good, you say, oh wow, that's amazing, whatever. Just don't mark it. Another thing that you can do, this hand is the dog, comes in and bites it, Yes. The removal from the hand is the criteria that you're looking for that bite. Yes. And he'll spit it right away, right? What we can do is we can not mark. So dog comes in and bites it, boom, and we can re-grab and let him take it, and let him take it, and let him take it. We can actually mark those things. He comes in and bites, yes, re-grab, yes, re-grab, yes, re-grab. And I'm just going to re-grab it before the dog has a chance to drop, right? And so right after the marker, when the dog takes it, yes, I'm going to re-grab and engage in tug. Right? And let the dog win again. Yes, and then I'm going to re-grab it. Pursue that. Grab it and tug again. And that's going to teach the dog, as long as there's load on the disc, you should be pulling on it. If you come in and take it from me, yes, and then I touch it and I don't pull on it, there's no tug there. You give it up right away. But that re-grab is very powerful. And that dropping on the bite work is most likely happening because of your positive marker on the bite itself. So if your dog is crushing the bite, if your puppy's crushing the bite, don't mark it anymore. Switch to only marking the drop and employ the re-grab to give him a reason to hold it a little longer. Yep. Yeah, implement those things I just mentioned. You might want to bookmark this timestamp on the call. Yeah, it's a pretty easy one too, Deneen. It's not very difficult. It's not even that difficult to reframe and wrap your head around. Cool. All right. All right, so here we go. Couple more pieces. Variable reinforcement. Do I want to go? I really want to go into variable reinforcement versus variable marking. I'm not going to do it, though. I'm not going to do it. Candy machine is a fixed schedule. Slot machine is a variable schedule. The only people who hang out at a candy machine are 5-year-old kids. Everyone else walks up, gets their candy, and leaves. Only little babies hang out around candy machines, and they only hang out around there when they have change, and when they want candy. All right. A slot machine, variable schedule. Adults will sit at a slot machine forever. It's going to pay out. I know it. I put my money in. I don't get paid. I don't give a shit. I just get more sure that I'm going to get paid out on the next time. If the candy machine doesn't work, well, you better not put any more fucking money in it, or you're just going to lose that too, right? So the candy machine, fixed schedule, winds up making immature workers who ogle the candy, right? Who stand around the candy machine, ooh, candy, right? And then if they don't get paid, they don't trust the schedule anymore. That's a fixed schedule. If you're on a fixed schedule and you don't get paid, you should probably find another job, right? If they don't pay you, that's not okay. We're on a fixed schedule here. You must pay me. The only reason I'm coming to work here is for this fucking paycheck. And you're not delivering on the fixed schedule. No, that's not happening, right? With the slot machine, the only reason I'm playing this is because there's an opportunity I'm going to win. I believe in that opportunity. And man, we'll keep pulling that handle all day long. And we don't need to get paid out. It's a big deal. When we have dogs that are used to a variable reward schedule, they work harder, they work longer, they don't get as frustrated. When we have dogs that are on a fixed schedule with lots of errorless learning, I'll probably get in trouble from somebody for saying this, but fuck it, who cares? Errorless learning, we experience a couple non-payouts, reward prediction error happens, dog's like, fuck this, I'm out, right? Like you should be with a candy machine. If you put $1 in the candy machine, you don't get a candy bar, you don't put another $1 in. That would be dumb. You put $1 in the slot machine and it doesn't pay out, you're just one more rep closer to getting that jackpot. So candy machine, fixed schedule, immature work, not a lot of value. If it doesn't pay out, everybody leaves. No more candy. You put a thing on the thing that says out of order. If a slot machine variable schedule doesn't pay out, you put a thing on the machine that says this machine is hot and ready to pay out. All right? There you go. Candy machine, slot machine, fixed versus variable reward schedule. Any questions on that? That's a cool. Ooh, I'm gonna take that, Deneen. I will totally take that, and you know what? Let's take it now. So if I had to guess, it's just you're probably making it improve through. I don't even know how to say it. It's like transcription or translation, right? I keep talking to you long enough about El Baño and like I have to use the bathroom and shit. I don't habla the language. If I keep at it long enough, we'll figure out what we're talking about. It'll require some, hand signals and whatnot. Maybe a Pictionary drawing or something, but we'll get there, right? So I would imagine something like that's going on. What I would do to make it improve, don't mark the teeth off, or don't mark the removal from the hand. Employ the re-grab, so as soon as he takes it from you, re-grab it and let him take it again. So the dog takes it, yes, and then I re-grab, yes. Anytime it comes out of the hand, yes, yes. Dog runs around with it, I grab it, yes, right? Out, yes. Bite, yes. I'm sorry, bite. No marker, out. Yes, bite. No marker as he takes it. Re-grab, re-grab, yes. See if he drops it right away. If he drops it right away, continue without the markers on the bite. If he takes it after the re-grab, you say yes, and he's holding it, and he's waiting for you to re-grab it again, then tell him out. Yes, bite. Awesome, go do dog stuff. Whoa, you held that the whole time. And it was great, right? And the dog very quickly will pick up the idea that, oh, I'm supposed to hold through this. My guess is it's just the marker, and then no reason for him to hold it. I'm just going to drop it and do another one anyway, so why do I need to hold it? It's not like you're re-grabbing or anything. As soon as you start re-grabbing, he'll be on it. All right, let's see. So we're not going to get to do Sue's canine ethogram. That was a really good. Link. It's a bummer. Oh, Sue's is so sad. All right, so I think that's about it, guys. It's 10:51. It's almost 2 hours. About normal. Deneen, or I don't know if anyone else is here. Deneen, anything else you want to hit on? Puppy stuff. Everybody on the Dojo Flow and elsewhere on our site, the surf by tag over here on the Digital Dojo Flow, really pretty awesome thing. And then we have surf by category as well, which is a great way to get around. I would recommend searching by tab or category. And then also down here in the archives, there's monthly archives, right? So if you know when it was written, monthly archives. If you know what it's likely under, tags, and familiarize yourself with the categories. And keep categories and tags separated a little bit. It's no fun to figure out how to do. But the puppy training thing here, Deneen. I'm going to link you to that. Boom. So that puppy training tag, you should probably take a look at that. There's a bunch of bite work, puppy bite work, puppy shaping with Ricky Jones, dog catch and weight, bite work, teaching a dog to catch. There's a bunch of good shit here. You should jump on it, Deneen. Puppy team movement. Don't skip that, Deneen. Don't skip that at all. Got a hoop. Blah, blah, blah. Ooh, teaching an epic puppy to back up. He was so freaking cute. All right. Cool, cool. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play us out with a meme roll. Get us played out with a meme roll. I don't know which one I'm going to do yet. Yeah, there's something really awesome about that wide scatter shot approach, Deneen. And then there's something that's like really a pain in the ass about that too. Right? It's hard to get your bearings sometimes with a puppy. Bite, drop, give. Bite, drop, give. Right? Another thing, Deneen, the focus on being prepared. You have a stack of discs, right? You're working your puppy. You make your throw. Before the puppy's caught, you're loaded up and ready to go. And now the puppy's running around out there and you're standing here with the disc in your hand with your posture aligned to where you're going next, right? And that's a really important aspect to handling the dog and to being prepared for like when you're unprepared, right? The more things that you can tick off, good stance, knowledge of where your pressure, you know, hey, we're going clockwise now, hey, we're going counterclockwise now. I'm loaded up immediately. My dog is coming back, I'm getting ready to throw sidearm to the left. So I have my left foot forward, and I'm waiting for my dog here with my grip. Out, yes, boom, there's my roller. Right? I make my roller, I'm loaded, dog catches, awesome. Out, yes, boom. Right? I'm prepared. That being prepared angle is super important for that. And loading your discs and shading your direction, right? By shading your direction, right now, my direction is shaded counterclock, right? And now my direction is shaded clock, right? If I do that purposefully, right, and I'm loaded, right, now I have all the time in the world to read my dog and blah, 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 and I'm ready to make my move. If I'm like watching my dog and I made my throw and I'm standing around and I'm, oh my gosh, look at that awesome little dog, and the dog turns around and then I gotta go, oh shit, I need to get ready, that's gonna be real trouble, right? So be prepared elsewhere in your games. Loading of the discs and the setting of your position. Close your eyes. Open them, now we're going clock. Close your eyes. Open them, now we're going counter. Right? If your dog sees that, then they start to follow you at that distance. And they're already hooked up with you. And if you're doing that stuff, your loading of your discs and the presentation or stance shifting that you would do to communicate movement or direction, those two movements and actions should serve as centering and grounding forces for you. Boom, I'm fucking ready. Dude, come on. Come on, we're ready. Boom, we're ready, right? And that being ready and pouncing on being ready, aggressively being ready. Boom, okay, we are ready, yeah. right? It puts you in charge. It puts you in the driver's seat. And then it's much easier to stay on path and stay grounded and centered working on what it is you're working on. All right. I am out of here. Meme roll number, I think I'll do meme roll number 5, guys. Hook up with us on Patreon. Jump on the website. Where is that? Come on, Ron. Come on, Ron. Stingers. There we go. Meme roll number 5. That's awesome. So here, I'm actually going to show you something that you need to look at before I go. What I want you to pay attention to here, Deneen, is how much stopping is happening. So, it's the first part of a fly chi flow form. Clock and counter flanks moving, and then we stop. We do a static flank, and I'm going to block him again. Boom. And then we do a static counterclock flank. And then we're going to stop him and do a clockwise pass. And then we're going to stop him and do a counterclock pass. So we're getting all 4 directions. Clock flank, counter flank, clock pass, counter pass. But we're getting this idea that he follows me, right? So I'm allowing him to move here in both directions. I'm actually pulling him through. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the same thing, except I'm going to stop him. Right? And I'll stop him again here. Boom. Stopping your dog is every bit as important. Look how hard it is for me to get going with King, because he doesn't know how to re-engage after stopping. He doesn't know that trigger real well. He's not comfortable waiting. He's getting better. Right? But that stop, in order to start your dog or to move your dog, you have to be able to stop the dog. If you want to learn how to move your dog, learn how to stop them. Learn how to get them going. Right? Here comes a block. I'm going to step forward and block him. We have the clockwise flank out to 2 o'clock. We're going to throw this one to 10 o'clock. Counterclock flank, we're going to block him, push, put on the brakes, clockwise pass. Brakes. Oops, someone was late. That shit I was just talking about, not paying attention, not being prepared. Running around picking up my discs again. What are you doing? So, Deneen, I wanted to show you that for the, no it isn't. No it isn't. By the way, I have a poodle now. I have a standard poodle now. I have a standard poodle, so I am actually on point with that. So if you've done more movement or more stopping than free-flowing movement, you have to put them side by side, Deneen. In a compare and contrast, we need to put the things we're comparing and contrasting directly next to each other. So we have a silver pen, we have a gold pen. You're sitting in this room where I am right now. The gold pen is over there in the dark. The silver pen is right in front of me on the desk here. And it's bright, right? So over there in the dark, there's a gold pen. Right here, there's a silver pen. If you walk over into the dark and look at the gold pen, come back over here into the light and look at the silver pen, you might think they're the same color. If we want to do a compare and contrast effectively, or most effectively, we put them right next to each other, right? We put them right the heck next to each other. And what happens is, let me see, I might actually have, yeah, this will work. So what happens is, and it won't work, but you'll get the idea, I think. Right? So I take these two things and I put them right next to each other. Right? And you can see just how similar they are. They both say Sharpie. One is silver, one is gold. They're both pink. One's a little more beat up than the other, right? But with them right here, I can look at them and I can clearly see that this gold and silver, while they are similar, they're completely different, right? If this silver one were over there in the dark and this gold one were in like bright light or in different lighting conditions, I might not be able to tell them apart. It'll be very hard, right? But as soon as I put them on a black piece of velvet in the same lighting, holy shit, that one's gold and that one's silver. What? That's crazy. You want to do the same thing with your starting and stopping, right? So we have, I move, you continue moving with me. You're running across, I block, you don't go, right? You want to put that block where you don't go right next to me pushing this way. And by putting the block, don't go, right next to the push this way, you get to see the similarities. And there are a bunch of similarities. If you're the dog and you're running this way, block, right? Don't go that way. You're running that way, block. You're running that way, go, right? Very similar. Block, go, right? But if we put them right next to each other, get around, get out, awesome. Out, yes, boom. We stop, yes, bite, right? Mackay, get out, yes, boom, we throw. When we put them right next to each other, 4 or 5 times right next to each other, it becomes very clear. Ooh, he's stepping out in that direction. He's got the disc kind of held like this. Wow, that means we're going that way. Ooh, he's standing out with a vertical disc, stepping forward. He's trying to block me and stop me. The dog will figure out which one's which. And we want to use that example, non-example, or compare and contrast as frequently as we can. And that means putting them right next to each other. So put your stop work and your drop work right next to the flat work and provide a very solid compare and contrast between pulling him through the direction and halting him or blocking him. All right, I really am gonna go. I can keep repeating shit for Deneen all day. Super awesome. I'm super stoked you're here, Deneen. Whoever else is here. Sydney and Anu, appreciate you guys hanging out. Yeah, let's do meme rule number 5 and take off. Come on, meme rule number 5. Where is it? Need to search Delio. Here we go. Meme rule number 5. Thanks a bunch for hanging out. Ron Watson, Positive Vibe, DiscDog.Live. See you soon.